Have you ever noticed there are people who almost never post anything on social media? No photos, no status updates, no shared feelings, just a quiet account that scrolls by, and sometimes you're not even sure how they're doing. It's not that they have nothing to say. Sometimes they just don't want to say it. In an age where everyone is rushing to capture every moment, the meal, the trip, the smile, even the sadness, silence has become something unusual. Among millions of posts every day, those who say nothing seem to disappear from the stream. But the truth is, they're still there. They've just chosen a different way to exist. Maybe they're observing, listening, thinking about something deeper than a photo or a caption. Maybe they're tired of having to express, to prove, to make others understand them. Or maybe they're simply enjoying real life, the kind that doesn't need likes to have meaning. In a world so loud with sharing, silence can sometimes be the strongest voice. So, what lies behind that choice? Is it pain, peace, or a phase where they're learning to understand themselves better? Today, let's step into the world of the quiet ones and listen to what they've never said out loud. Maybe there was a time they posted something, a photo, a heartfelt thought, or just a random feeling. But instead of receiving understanding, they got cold stares, sarcastic comments, or jokes that didn't feel so harmless. Sometimes just once is enough to make someone withdraw, because on social media, it's easier to judge than to listen. A short caption, a cropped photo, suddenly become reasons for people to label you with words like fake, show off, attention seeker, or trying too hard. And little by little, they learned to stay silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they realized not everyone truly wants to understand. The pain of being misunderstood made them more cautious. Every time they think about sharing, they ask themselves, does anyone really care? So instead of posting, they write, then delete. Instead of speaking, they just keep it to themselves. Silence becomes their armor. No one sees their weakness, but no one knows that behind that quietness lies a heart that's been hurt before. They no longer seek validation from others, because sometimes peace isn't about being heard. It's about not having to explain anymore. There's a phase in life when we crave to be seen. Our successes, our joys, even our quiet efforts. But at some point, we realize external validation doesn't matter as much anymore. Those who no longer post have probably gone through that phase. They once tried to share, to be understood, to wait for a like the way others wait for empathy. But then they realized a photo with many hearts doesn't make them happier, and a kind comment doesn't make them less lonely. So they stopped. They chose to live for themselves, not for anyone's gaze. They learned to enjoy a good cup of coffee without taking a picture, to watch the sunset without posting a story, and to smile at themselves, even when no one else knows about that moment. Because sometimes the most beautiful thing is simply living fully in the moment without needing to prove anything to anyone. Their silence isn't about hiding from the world. It's another form of freedom. Freedom from judgment, from comparison, from the need to be seen. They don't need social media to be noticed because they've learned to see themselves more clearly, more completely, and more peacefully than ever before. There are moments when people don't want to talk, don't want to share, and don't feel the need to prove anything. Not because they hate the world, but because they're turning inward to truly listen to themselves. They realize that for years they've been living among endless noise. The noise of comparison, of expectations, of advice, of invisible standards. And in all that noise, their own voice has grown so faint that it almost disappeared. So they choose silence. Not the silence of giving up, but the silence of rebirth. They need space to piece together the fragments of their emotions, to look within and see what they truly want, and what they've been chasing just out of fear of being left behind. In that stillness, they learn to love themselves again, slowly, quietly, without the need for display. They start to rediscover the beauty in simple things: a peaceful afternoon, a good book, a patch of sky outside the window. Not posting doesn't mean disappearing. Sometimes it's just their way of stepping back from the crowd to meet themselves again, the person they forgot to listen to for so long. And when they're calm enough, when they truly understand themselves, maybe they'll return, not to talk about life, but to live fully within it. When they become emotionally mature enough, they start to see social media through different eyes. It's no longer a place to seek validation, no longer a measure of self-worth, but simply a space where people share their stories in their own way. They understand that no one truly shares their whole life online. The most beautiful photos are often carefully chosen, and the brightest smiles sometimes hide quiet exhaustion. And so they stop comparing, stop chasing. They no longer feel left behind because they know everyone is walking their own path. For them, social media is no longer a place to live, but a place to observe. Sometimes smiling at others' joy, sometimes quietly turning off the screen and returning to their own real world. They choose to live slower, more authentically, because they understand that the value of a day isn't measured by views or likes, but by the moments they are truly present: an honest conversation, a simple meal, or a few minutes of stillness before sleep. It's not that they reject social media, they just no longer let it control their emotions. They've learned to step out of the virtual world, to rediscover truth, depth, and peace within their own soul. Some people choose silence, not because they have nothing to share, but because they're learning to listen, not to the world, but to themselves. They don't need to prove they're happy.
They just need to truly feel it. They don't need to tell anyone they're at peace, because real peace doesn't need to be announced. It only needs to be lived. And perhaps those who speak less, post less, and stay quiet are the ones who live the deepest, feel the most, and understand best the beauty of stillness. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, they choose to be the ones who see. They observe, they understand, they smile. And sometimes just their quiet presence can bring comfort to someone else. So if today you find yourself speaking less, showing up less, don't think you're falling behind or losing your way. You're simply on a journey back to yourself. And that's a beautiful path to be on. Not posting doesn't mean you've disappeared. Sometimes it's just your soul taking a rest, healing, and quietly blooming in silence.